The following program is rated U for universal audiences and is considered suitable for listeners of all ages.
This is a presentation of Dream Realm Enterprises, where dreams become reality.
It's another episode of DBB. And welcome back to DBB. I'm your host, Jon Russell, and I know it's been a while. It's been since June since we did a DBB. I am so sorry for the long delay. The long delay for DBB and other things with Dream Realm Enterprises. But we are still here, believe it or not, and we are still working behind the scenes. Trying to get some things together for you. It has been a light year. It has been a slow year. I know we haven't released a lot this year, and I apologize for that. There's been so many obstacles in our way. Personal life has come up because I've had family medical issues I've had to deal with, as well as my own medical issues to deal with. And so many other things. Just life, real life has popped up and said, hello, I'm here, in a very big way. So it has been a busy year for me, but in ways that I hadn't planned on and wouldn't have hoped for. I was hoping it was going to be a busy year of audio production, but sadly that hasn't quite happened. I was going to do something special for the 20th anniversary since the birth of DRE. So that may end up being something we do next year for the premiere of DRE, which will be the 20th anniversary since the very first thing you ever heard from us. So I guess that kind of makes more sense in some ways. But it's been 20 years plus a couple of months since DRE actually existed, when I formed it and started pulling people together and ideas and trying to get audio into production. And it was a year after that, actually to the day, of actually forming it, to us releasing our very first release, which of course was a Doctor Who story called The Mines of Mandor. Episode 1 went out in 2004, and then we had more delays because of the Great Crash, and it was another year after that, I think, or close to it, before we actually got to continue and then conclude that story and continue our Doctor Who series. Although before that happened, of course, you got the premiere of Robots of the Company, so that was, I think, the very next year, which would have been 2015. So yeah, there's a lot of different anniversaries coming up. There's one this year for the forming of DRE, one next year for the start of DRE and our fan-produced Doctor Who series, and then the next year there's one for the 20th anniversary of Robots of the Company, believe it or not. Now, we did release an episode of Robots of the Company earlier this year, and it ended on a cliffhanger, and it had intended to lead directly into the 100th episode, and that's been delayed because of, life. And I wasn't 100% happy with the script that I had come up with for the 100th episode. I actually wrote it, and found out that it was going to be a multi-part story, because it didn't wrap up at the end of episode 100. But I just kept going over the script and thinking, I'm not happy with this. I'm just not. I don't think it's where it needs to be quality-wise or comedy-wise. It could have been a lot funnier. It could have been a little a little better written, and that's on me, of course. But I there was a lot of distraction. I had a lot of distraction going on, and I was trying to finish the script as quickly as possible. And when your back is against the wall and you're trying to do these things, sometimes the quality is just not there. So I don't want to force it, and I don't want to put out something that doesn't match the quality of what we've released before, because I don't want to disappoint you guys, the audience. And I think I think the cast deserves better, and I think the series deserves better, considering the milestone that we're trying to celebrate there, which is 100 episodes. So the 100th episode should be very special. It shouldn't be something that's just rushed and thrown out and is just, well, it's good enough to be recorded and released. It would have been okay, but okay in this case is not good enough. So there were some commercials there a couple of years ago about, things being just okay, which is not okay. So in that regard, yeah, it was okay, but it's okay is not good enough. So we're going to go back and rewrite it and get it ready for you, and hopefully out by the end of the year. But I'm not going to promise that, because again, I want it to be special. I want it to be good. So when my mind is clear enough to be able to go back through that script and rewrite it, I want it to come together, and I intend that it's going to be that way. So yeah, before we move into that and get that going, yeah, it's got to have some major tweaks. But we're also working behind the scenes on trying to get our sci-fi series Spacers Inc. up and going. My good friend MJ Cogburn has taken over the reins of producing the whole post-production aspect of that show, and that's going slowly because, of course, life, and that's interfering with her being able to do things as quickly as she'd like. So it's being done, it's being worked on. Hopefully you'll get to hear that, if not by the end of the year, soon after the new year, which that might be a good way to break in 2024, is with that new series. So it's coming. It's going to happen. There's 3 episodes to season 1. I intended to have more, but never got around to finishing the writing on the rest of the episodes. But if these 3 episodes premiere and you guys like them, then I will then make the effort to get on with more episodes and have a second season. So, but yeah, you've got that to look forward to. I think it's a good show, and I think it will come together very well, especially with MJ behind the sound design of it and everything, because she does excellent work. And that's MJ Cogburn over there at Darker Projects. So she's doing me a very great favor in working on that behind the scenes, and slow but sure. We're not rushing her by any means. So yeah, hopefully you'll get to hear it in the next few months, and hopefully you'll enjoy it when you do. But we also have been hoping for the longest time to get Magic Monsters and Mayhem Book 4 done, and that's kind of hit a slow point, a bit of a snag, and there's still a lot of work to be done on mastering those lines and then editing it together. So that's a very slow process, because there's a lot of characters in that, and a lot went on with that through the course of producing that whole season, because of various deaths we had in our cast and so forth, and having to recast and rewrite, and it's it's a mess. And to coin a phrase, it's a cluster. So forgive the beep, but yeah, it's a bit of a mess, and eventually we're going to get that done. And I have to kind of look towards 2024 in the hopes that sometime in 2024 you will finally get to hear it. Long delayed, because it was recorded, a few years ago, and we've been working on it from like 2019 up to now, basically. And so it turned into a monster, but we are eventually going to finish it, and you are going to eventually get to hear it. And we'll do some kind of recap so that you can catch up on it and be ready for book 4 of that series, MMM, Magic, Monsters, and Mayhem. But the good news right now is I've been working on a very special episode of Tales from a Dark Realm, which is going to be our second season premiere, which I'm hoping we will get to premiere in time for Halloween. With another Poe reading episode. Is going to be Edgar Allan Poe Volume 4 to start off the second season. And then at some point we'll get to hopefully do some more. But we're going to premiere it with that special episode, sort of a Halloween special. That's the idea. That's what the readings themselves are recorded. We just have to get the narration done with Mr. Paul RBC, who is the host of the show now, and I'm just waiting on his material so that we can do the final mix and get that out to you. I think we're going to make it. I think we're going to make it in time for Halloween, so you've got that to look forward to. I also have been working on another special for the year. It's the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who on the BBC. And, of course, we do our fan-produced Doctor Who series, which we've been hoping to do another season of. But so far, we haven't finished all the writing on that season. But there is a special one-off episode that I did for the anniversary. It was supposed to be meant as an anniversary episode for, the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who, but also for the 20th anniversary of the founding of DRE. So you are going to get to hear that sometime in the very near future. Everything is recorded except for one person's lines, and that's my fault. That's on me because I've been so busy I haven't had a chance to arrange that situation where this person can come in and record his lines. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, it's going to be an episode called The Lost Doctor, and it's just a very special one-off sort of celebratory story in a way, which will last, I don't know, maybe about a half an hour, something like that. But hopefully you'll appreciate it. I think you will. I'm not going to give anything away at this point because there's some surprises ahead for that. But hopefully we will get the recording done on that, and then we can get on to editing it. And hopefully by the end of the year, hopefully in November, fingers crossed and all that, you'll get to hear it in time for the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who. And we're going to try and make that happen. I'm not going to guarantee it, but that is something we are also working on. So those are the things in the pipeline. That's what we're working on now. Of course, like I said, real life is right there. It's right in our face. To give you some detail, my mother, my elderly mother, she's 90 years old this year, just turned in September. She broke her leg a couple weeks before her 90th birthday, and so she's been in and out of the hospital and rehab centers and so forth. So that's kept me and my family very busy. So, my mother's health has come first. All our health and well-being has come first before all this other stuff. So I think you'll understand that. Hopefully you do. But at any rate, that gives you some explanation as to what's been going on. So there's a lot going on in real life and still things going on behind the scenes. So we will get that audio goodness out to you just as fast as we possibly can. And, and try to make it the best that it can possibly be. So the next thing you have to look forward to is Tales from a Dark Realm Season 2 premiere, special Halloween episode, the readings of Edgar Allan Poe Volume 4. So, which is going to be fun. It's going to be, we've got some good readings. We've got a couple of things read for you. And putting it all together now. So you have that to look forward to. So thank you for tuning in. We love you guys so much. You've been standing by us. You've been patiently waiting. Some of you out there are still listening because I see that we do get the odd download and so forth from the podcast feed. So somebody's listening, and we really appreciate that. Thank you guys for sticking with us. Thank you for your patience. As always, and you guys have been very loyal and very supportive, and we really appreciate that. A lot of people would just say, they're not doing anything, they're too slow or whatever. I'm done. But you guys have stuck with us, and we love you for it. So thank you so much, everybody. We're here for you just as much as you're here for us, and we're going to be bringing you more and more audio entertainment into the future. We're not done, folks, not by a long shot. So you're going to get to hear some great things, I promise you. Some fun things for sure. So starting with that Halloween special from Tales from a Dark Realm. So you'll be hearing more about that very, very soon. And thanks, guys. That's about all I have for this time. So until next time, you know the drill. Please stay tuned.
This program is copyright 2023, all rights reserved, and is brought to you by Dream Realm Enterprises, always warping to new dimensions.